So if you've been around the comment section on one of these videos before, you know that I like to learn a bit of trivia about the wrestlers or the managers or anyone who's really been around the space. Today we got a video from Sunny V2 about Andre the Giant, how amazing genetics made life impossible. We're going to be reacting to the content, but if you'd like to see the original content on the original creators channel, you can find that at the top link in the description. Go ahead and show them support. I'm over here just being a vulture. I'm just swooping in, you know, just talking over stuff. This is how we do it. If you are a youngin', my content is not for you, so I highly advise that you probably find something else to go watch, because I'm not gonna lie, I curse a lot. I don't want to get you in trouble. So take your iPad, right? Go to YouTube Kids. You go find something else to watch, okay? The ghost girl told you to do it, all right? We're gonna get started. Hang around until about the halfway point in the video if you want to interact with the question of the day, and we'll see what's going on there.
Andre the Giant's size gave him everything.
The largest and highest paid and best known wrestler in the entire world.
Once being listed by the Guinness Book of Records as the highest paid wrestler ever. These same genetics, however, made his life a living hell, with Andre famously stating,
Alright, so I don't get to travel around a lot, right? Dude, but if I were to get on a plane and see a motherfucker that big, I think I would be within my right to just kind of stop and stare for a little bit, like, yo, are you real? That's it. Are you real? Yes, beach hackers. Beach flats. You look like two dudes in a suit. Are you real? I would be too like shy to ask though. So it would just be like an awkward stare, like, oh, this motherfucker had the. He said, I'm not getting on that plane, to be fair. This is like an indoor roller coaster. What the fuck going on, right, boot?
stating, I would give much money to be able to spend 1 day per week as a man of regular size. When he was born, Andre already weighed 13 pounds or 6 whole kilos, which is almost double the average male baby, weighing 3.3 kilos or 7.5 pounds. Growing up, Andre played soccer, with his childhood friends stating he used to be the goalie, but the ball would never go in because he was so big. By the age of 12, Andre was 6'3" and
Yo, brother, a 6'3" 12-year-old? Oh, oh no. Never mind the fact they're about to say he's like 240 pounds. Yo, that's a man. He's jumping. Oh, that's a big ass boy.
240 pounds or 108 kilos.
I started going to school, I was bigger than all the kids.
He was too big to fit on the local school bus, and his family didn't have the money to buy a car that could deal with his weight. As a result, Andre left school to work on a farm, where one day a friend of the farm's owner drove slowly past the field in a Rolls Royce. I will own such a car as that someday, Andre said quietly. Stop dreaming and start raking, his father replied. You are a big boy, but that dream is too big even for.
Yo, Pops acting like he not about to get looked at in the eyes. He about to turn and look his father in the eyes like, I promise I will. Boy, yo, alright. Fuck around and find out. That's, I'm telling that Gav, whatever you want. Like, yeah, of course, Andre Facts. He can pick that shit up if he wanted to. That is a fucking giant.
For you.
I said to my dad, someday I will get a car like this. And he said, quit dreaming and keep walking.
According to his brother, Andre did the farm work of 3 different men and would drive an unregistered car as the cops wouldn't dare to stop him when he tried to.
Alright, hold on. Because he definitely like a monster or something right there. Hold on. You see a whip pull up, no plates, and this big ass fucking. This big-ass monolith of a man steps out? No way, man. Imagine being the cop that, like, pulls him over, and you're like, yo, step out of the car. That's it. And then it's like, oh. Get back in. Get back in, man. Go away. Drive away, man. Go away.
As the cops wouldn't dare to stop him when he tried to join the military.
Andre was deemed unfit for service as there were no shoes big enough, bunks long enough, or trenches deep enough to accommodate him.
Yet these same issues made him a wrestling sensation. He'd officially become Andre the Giant, a famous televised wrestler, but more notably had grown so much, his own parents didn't recognize him when he came back home.
My parents, they was a big fan of me on this on TV, but they don't know.
Your parents were a fan and they didn't know it was you.
No, because I changed my name.
At over 7 foot tall and 500 pounds or 220.
Job. Being over 7 feet. And I don't think I've seen many people with like the build of over like 7 feet tall that weren't like, you know, like the skinny, lanky basketball body types, the basketball player body types. This is a big motherfucker, dude. And I say motherfucker lovingly. Andre the Giant is the man, you gotta understand. But, jeez, man. 7 feet tall. That's a Humvee, bro. He's an armored vehicle. But it's a big dude. What?
27 kilos. Andre saw a doctor to figure out why he'd grown so much.
Joe, wait. Look at the comparison. Look at his hand. Compared to hers, bro. Yo. Brother. If he grabs your face, like if his hand so much as grazes your noggin, you are going on the lightless walk. You are done. Shut. Just picture Andre the Giant open palm slap at you. Do you think you have what it takes? That's the question of the day, as a matter of fact. Do you think you can take an open palm slap to the face from Andre the Giant? I feel like if I got slapped, I would be atomized, bro. You would just see particles. You would see my fucking outline. I couldn't take a slap from him, bro. Oh my god. Yo, picture Andre the Giant with a high top face. Am I onto something?
Acromegaly was the diagnosis, a rare 1 in 12,000 brain tumor causing the body to produce excessive growth hormone. It leads to extra large hands, feet and fingers, as well as a bigger jaw, nose, lips and tongue. According to Ripley's Believe It or Not, his fingers were so big around that the ring he wore had an opening that could easily fit a silver dollar, which is 38.1 mil. To put the size into perspective, the average man's finger is around 10 to 11 mil around. This could be seen in interviews like this.
This is his ring, and I kid you not, I can get all 3 fingers.
Holy shit, dude. Yo, this man was huge, bro. Yo. Yo. I'm not that old to where I would have been around on this earth watching the promos and stuff with Andre the Giant in it. So believe me, this is the first LFC of this shit. Wow.
In that ring.
With people on Reddit adding, favorite fact is that Andre was so large, he could push a hard-boiled egg through his wedding ring. My wife met him once and instead of a handshake, she said she could only shake one of his fingers. These elements made him so unique that when doctors offered to remove his tumor, Andre bluntly refused.
He decided that he didn't want treatment at that time because he thought it would interfere with his career as a wrestler.
He'd state, if this is the size that God wanted me to be, I'm going to be this size.
I use what God gave me. I'm not supernatural. I just myself. So what God gave me, I use it to make a living.
However, this gave him a short life expectancy.
The commissioned doctors at Madison Square Garden told me he's going to be lucky to live to be 40.
And meant he'd keep on growing until the day he'd die. By the time he'd joined the WWE WWE, Andre had reached 7'4", peaking at 560 pounds or 2.
Yo, this is the third height update of the video. 7'4"? Picture meeting this guy at some point, right? Picture meeting him early on in like his wrestling career. And he's getting bigger somehow. Like what? Well, like we're all grown. And this man is getting bigger. Feet, what?
25 kilos.
What size boot is that, Andre?
That's 22, size 22.
Take a look at that along my size 9.
22
This made him
shoe,
the
by
most
the way.
successful wrestler ever.
Without a doubt, Andre was the most famous wrestler in the world.
Yet it also continued to make his life harder.
It's difficult everywhere I go. They don't build anything for big people. They build everything for blind people, for crippled people, for some other people, but not for big people.
Andre was constantly visiting new cities,
The nature of your job, you're traveling all the time, aren't you? Like 320 nights a year.
Yes.
which came with its own set of challenges.
Hotel beds, are they a problem?
I tried to find a hotel where you get a king-size bed. The worst is when I go in Japan, all those cars are so small.
Sure.
Even in a hotel, I can go through the door, I can go to the bathroom, everything is so small.
Andre was too large to fit inside most.
You fellas, you're at the urinal. You're at the urinal. Andre the Giant strolls in. You rushing your business? You getting out of there? You getting out of there? You gotta hope bro is looking straight forward, because he's gotta see dick, man. If he looks to the side, he's gotta see dick, his butt. 7'4", you can't hide it. You can't hide it, it's done. No, we did.
Cars.
When I'm traveling with a car, I need 2 cars.
That's right.
Yo, the car rocking as he gets it is crazy.
Yeah, that's true. Well, you can put one car in each foot.
Taking a taxi wasn't a better alternative.
Funny story, one time we couldn't get a taxi because he was so big.
And when they finally got one, Andre was charged extra.
We ask him how much he is, and we see the counter, he charges double. So you're a big guy, you have to pay double.
It seems that flying was Andre's only
Oh,
option,
no.
where he'd have to book the entire exit row. However, thankfully, he was able to fix this problem.
What about plane travel? Does that get old after a while? Awful?
I go in first class, but I'm
Think like a private
Despite
jet?
this costing an absolute fortune,
I'm traveling so much. Last year I bought for $67,000 just an airplane ticket.
there was still another even bigger flying problem.
Oh, man.
Andre couldn't fit inside the toilet. He therefore had to relieve himself prior to boarding.
Andre would always time it so
Oh,
that he would
wow.
take a dump before, he went to the airport.
But in one notable instance, he forgot to go beforehand.
He's up in first class and he tells them, I gotta go. And they're like, oh my God, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do?
The onboard solution wasn't exactly glamorous,
He would relieve himself into a bucket and then they bring it in and dump it into the toilet.
but in retrospect, the story
That had to be an interesting day. For the people working there, like, yo, big man just said he got to do something. It's looking like a number 2 situation. Number 2 situation, but I'm squatting down back there. I got to thump that out, man. Yeah, you got to thump that out, man. Oh my goodness.
is pretty funny.
The smell that started coming out, there was people falling out of their seats almost into the aisles, puking, crying, screaming.
Sadly, this didn't only apply to planes.
Where does he shit?
In the bathtub.
No.
Yeah, there's no toilet, don't take his ass.
And with monumental bells
tub.
came monumental farts.
It sounded like, like a deep roar, kind of like thing it would rumble.
We're not going to describe Andre the Giant's farts as deep roars. Vincent Kennedy McMahon. Vincent, we're not. Vance, we are not doing that. It sounded like a deep roar. Don't do that. Don't do that.
On the set of Princess Bride, this actually halted production.
He lets out the most monumental fart. The whole plywood set was shaking, and the sound guy lifted his headphones off his ears and was doing that, and it went on for, somebody timed it was 16 seconds.
While Andre's former wrestling opponent
They just said, bro, let it rip for 16 seconds straight. Just staring at him like, oh, about these. I wouldn't even. You gotta give certain people, gotta give certain people grace. If Andre the Giant had to let off a 16 second there, I'll pretend it didn't happen. I would probably have to do an offhanded comment like, yo, you show lighter, bro? Does that help out at all? Shit. Because you just let that shit go. All right, facts. Back to the take.
opponents thought the wind lasted even longer.
And I could feel my fucking shoulder just vibrate like. You know how long a giant can fart?
How long?
Stop
About 40
it.
seconds.
Andre was so different to everybody else, it got to the point of public ridicule. Hulk Hogan explained when we'd walk through the airports, if he got ahead of me, I'd hear all the unkind things that people would say. Oh my god, look at that guy. It would just break my heart.
We can't take nothing Hulk Hogan say as truth, to be honest. This man is definitely a known liar at this point. Proven liar. Like, I doubt this happened. Put him in this shit, or I don't like this guy. Put him in this shit, or bo. Somebody put him on Andre Bucket duty.
Hearts.
They perceived him as a freak of nature, and that hurt Andre more than anything. This guy was very sensitive. Boss, sometimes they laugh at me, they point at me. It hurts my feelings. Boss,
Yo, the Peter Griffin
sometimes
drip,
they
though?
laugh at me, they point.
The Peter Griffin drip, though? That's not the Peter? He got that shit on, though, right? He definitely got that shit on.
At me, it hurts my feelings. You never think a guy like that would cry, but he would cry.
Andre stated in an interview, I would give much money to be able to spend one day per week as a man of regular size. I would shop and I would go to the cinema and drive around in a sports car and walk down Fifth Avenue and stare at the other people for a change. Disguising himself in public simply wasn't possible.
Muhammad Ali could put on a trench coat and a ball
Yeah,
cap.
there's no way you're
Andre
hiding.
the Giant couldn't hide in the backseat of a car.
Instead opting to numb himself completely.
He never, ever quit drinking. He drank from
mad
the
sad.
time he got up to the time he went to bed. If he could figure out a way, he'd just done it in his sleep.
While Andre's drinking feats are often highly romanticized,
That's
there's
sad,
no denying he had a serious problem.
He started drinking about 9 o'clock in the morning. He drank like, I'm not exaggerating, like 20 bottles of new Beaujolais.
Doing so to cope with his difficult life.
He drank because he was in pain. His spine and his neck and his knees gave him a lot of trouble.
He drinks 6 bottles of wine before every wrestling match, with Jake the Snake explaining that Andre once drank
6
48
bottles,
beers in a
dude.
single car trip.
He drank 2 cases of beer and did not have to piss. How can you do that?
This was nothing compared to a different night.
Is it true that you, in one sitting, drank 117 beers?
Yes.
Were you drunk at the end of that?
117
With
beers.
Andre's unofficial record being 156 beers in one sitting, which fellow wrestlers Dusty Rhodes and Michael Hayes confirmed. However, this only added extra weight onto his body.
I myself saw him almost every night drink 7,000 calories worth of alcohol.
Which seemed to be the primary motive for why he eventually quit.
But you don't drink anymore.
Not since 14 months ago I quit.
You feel better for not drinking?
Yeah, because when I was drinking beer, I used to weigh 560 pounds.
And you've trimmed down now to?
Right now, I'm 470.
This led to the infamous Andre the Giant vs Hulk Hogan, after which his career was basically over. When he next came to a match, Andre was using crutches, showing the decline of his physical health. He'd retired to a ranch in North Carolina until he flew back to France for his father's funeral. He'd take this photo after the ceremony without realizing that 3 days later, Andre himself would die of a heart attack.
I'd like to announce the death of one of my favorite wrestlers and one of the most famous wrestlers of all time.
I didn't know the ending was like
Paris, France,
that.
after going home to his father's funeral.
His body was too large to fit in any French crematorium, and as a result he was shipped back to the USA. His ashes weighed 17 pounds or almost 8 kilos, being just another reason he's remembered as a legend.
Yo, that's mad ashes. Bro, I was joking and shit the whole time, and then we got hit with the signature Sunny V2, and by the way, shit like this. Like yeah. Rest in peace to a legend, man. I hear nothing but like really cool stories about Andre the Giant. If you guys haven't seen that, there's a show that The Rock does, called Young Rock, right? And it's like a biopic type thing. But like Andre the Giant is one of the characters in there, and he's presented really cool in that show too. I don't know how much of it is like fiction and all that, but I've definitely grown fond of Andre the Giant from what I've seen and stuff like that, and like, you know, internal stuff with WWE and all the documentaries and whatnot and all the homages, and man, it is so crazy that someone could like be born with like a defect that makes them grow, right? Like there's so much shit that could happen as a human. Like, yo, to be able to turn that into like a amazing career and like a long lasting legacy is like awesome. Really cool video from Sunny V2. This is actually one of the ones that I kind of rocks with. I kind of like this video. Again, if you want to see the original content, you can check out the top link in the description. And I appreciate you guys for hanging out. I'll see you in the next video.